Hello everyone, welcome to the channel TutorBox. In today's class, I am going to discuss about another part of ICH guideline of pharmacovigilance, and in particular this lecture we will discuss about E2A guideline, means E2A guidelines for expedited reporting. Clear? In earlier class, I already discussed about the operation and objective of ICH guideline for pharmacovigilance. So check the part 1 and 2 as well. And you all know that at the end of lecture we have a 5 MCQ. So solve these 5 MCQ and see the description box for the notes of this lecture. Okay, so the first thing is that what is the meaning of expedited? Okay, so expedited means fast, or we can say rapid. Clear? That is the meaning of expedited. Okay, it means any of the adverse events should be reported very fast or soon. But what kind of adverse event should be reported fast or very soon? That is the question raised in our mind. So the answer of this question is given in the ICH guideline. Now what is the answer of that question? We have to know about the what should be reported. What should be reported? So now look at here, what should be reported in the expedited reporting. So as we all know that in expedited reporting we are reporting what? Adverse drug reaction. Okay, so what kind of adverse drug reporting is performed in the expedited reporting? So we have to understand this point. So we have a two kind of adverse event. The first one is serious and second one is unexpected. Okay, so these serious and unexpected adverse event may be reported from where? What is the source of that reporting? So we already discussed about the spontaneous reporting of ADR. So they may be reported by spontaneous sources. Clear? And then any type of clinical investigation independent of design and purpose. Whatever the design of clinical study and whatever the purpose, it is not necessary that a specific design or a specific purpose are included in the expedited reporting. Any kind of design or any kind of purpose can be included in the expedited reporting of ADR. So ADR by any clinical investigation can be reported, but that ADR must be serious and must be unexpected. Clear? That is the important point. Means there are so many kind of ADR, but what kind of ADR we have to report in the expedited reporting? So the ADR must be serious, and the ADR which is not expected, unexpected ADR should be reported, as well as fatal or life-threatening ADR should be reported. Then the ADR should be reported by regulatory authority generated ADR. If the ADR serious and unexpected ADR which are not recognized by the sponsor or manufacturer, and if they are recognized by the regulatory authority generated ADR publications, okay, and then such kind of ADR should be included into the expedited reporting, as well as information obtained from manufacturer and sponsor on serious and unexpected ADR can be included into the expedited reporting. So I hope you people are able to understand what kind of ADR we have to report in expedited reporting. Now we have to also consider that what kind of ADR are inappropriate in the expedited reporting. So we have to understand this point as well. So the first one is, if the ADR is serious but it is expected, then we should not report such kind of ADR into the expedited reporting. जो ADR serious है but expected है कि ऐसा होगा, ये ड्रग देने से ऐसा होगा, उस ADR को हम expedited reporting में include नहीं करेंगे. The second one is serious event from clinical investigation that are not related to the study product, whether the event is expected or not expected. So चाहे कोई भी ADR हो, expected हो या unexpected हो, और clinical investigation के अंदर अगर कोई adverse event मिला है, but the adverse event is not related with our drug, our experimental drug, then we will not include that ADR into expedited reporting. If some people reporting such kind of ADR into expedited reporting, then it is inappropriate. Clear everyone? So we have to understand here examiner may ask question in MCQ, which of the following is inappropriate expedited reporting. Clear everyone? Now just look on other observation that necessitate rapid reporting, means any other observation that we can include them in the एक्सपीडिएटेड रिपोर्टिंग. और कौन कौन से कारण हैं जिनको कि हम एक्सपीडिएटेड रिपोर्टिंग में इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं. जो कारण हमने यहाँ डिस्कस किए हैं उनके अलावा और कौन कौन से रीजंस हो सकते हैं. ओके, सो फॉर एक्सपेक्टेड सीरियस एडीआर, अर्लियर आई टोल्ड यू दैट एक्सपेक्टेड सीरियस एडीआर शुड नॉट include into the expedited reporting, but in which case we can include expected serious ADR into expedited reporting. So when there is an increased rate of occurrence which is clinically important. Clear? Whenever expected ADR is increase in occurrence, means if we are giving a drug to 100 people and then 60 to 70% people having that ADR, then we can include serious expected ADR into expedite reporting. Clear? So that is the important point. Then the second one is for life threatening situation. If the situation is life threatening, then a lack of efficacy of a medicinal product should be reported into the expedited reporting. Means a patient in the life threatening situation, patient की fetal या life threatening situation है. ओके, लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग सिचुएशन के अंदर क्या होगा, अगर हम उसको एक मेडिसिनल प्रोडक्ट दे रहे हैं तो वो मेडिसिनल प्रोडक्ट अगर उसको कंप्लीटली ठीक ही नहीं कर रहा, इसका मतलब द मेडिसिनल प्रोडक्ट इज नॉट एफिकेशियस. ओके, सो इन दैट केस दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग इज रिपोर्टेड एज अ एक्सपीडिएटेड रिपोर्टिंग. देन द नेक्स्ट वन इज फॉर न्यूली कंप्लीटेड एनिमल स्टडी. इफ वी आर कंप्लीटेड animal study and we find a safety concern like carcinogenicity, that carcinogenicity should be reported as a expedited reporting. That is the important thing. So these are the other observation we can include in expedited reporting. Clear? Expedited means fast reporting. Now when we are doing fast reporting, at that time again question raised in how much time frame we have to report this adverse event. Clear? So again we are dividing the time frame in expedited reporting. So we have to divide the adverse event into two types. The first one is fatal and life threatening situations. Okay, fatal or life threatening ADRs and other serious unexpected ADR. Okay, so for fatal and life threatening ADRs, that they should be reported within 7 calendar days for first report by sponsor to regulatory body. Within 7 days हमें उसको report कर देना है. Then after that, after first reporting to the regulatory body, then within next 8 days, 8 working days, we have to file complete report which include importance of implication of finding, that should be included, and we also include previous experience with the similar or the same drugs. Clear everyone? So दो चीजें हमें ध्यान रखनी है. The first one is we have to report within 7 days. First, whenever it occur, first we have to report within 7 days, and within the next 8 days we have to report the complete report. That is the important one. And if you are looking on the other serious unexpected ADR, then what happened? We have to report within 15 days after first acknowledgement or first knowledge sponsored that the case meets the minimum expedited reporting criteria. Because whenever in clinical investigation we find a ADR, then we first identify whether this ADR meets the criteria of expedited reporting or not. Clear? And if we find that it meets the criteria, then within 15 days after first knowledge by the sponsor, the case meets the minimum expedited reporting. So we have to report within 15 days. So remember this. here we are reporting within 8 working day and here we are reporting within 15 days. That is the difference between fatal and serious unexpected ADR, expedited reporting, because time frame is important, because we are discussing what? Fast reporting. So in the fast reporting we have to remember about the time frame. If the time frame is not clearly mentioned, then it will create a difficulty for the sponsor or for the people who are reporting the adverse event. Clear everyone? Now just understand what are the minimum criteria for reporting. Clear? So the first one is identifiable patient. First we have to identify the patient, that the patient who experienced the adverse event, unexpected, serious adverse event, fatal or life-threatening adverse event. So we have to identify the patient. Second one, we have to identify the suspected medicinal product. If we are unable to identify, then how can we report that this adverse event is just because of that XYZ drug? So we have to identify the XYZ drug which may be the cause behind the adverse event. Then identifiable reporting source. So who is reporting? The pharmacist is reporting, the doctor is reporting, nursing staff, medical staff, and a sponsor, manufacturer, or a regulatory body. Who is reporting the adverse event? So we have to identify the reporting source. Then serious unexpected fatal ADR. We have to identify whether the adverse event is serious, whether it is unexpected, or whether it is fatal or life-threatening ADR. After identifying the ADR, then we are able to identify that it meets the expedited reporting criteria, and we have to include this in the minimum reporting criteria for reporting. Then suspected causal relationship means the ADR has a causal relationship with the medicinal product or not. So we have to clearly establish the criteria and clearly mention the criteria about the causal relationship. We already discussed in our previous lectures about the suspected causal relationship. In unit 1 and unit 2 lectures, we already discussed these points. Then follow up information on the ADRs. Okay. So again, we have to check regular follow up information of the ADRs. Clear everyone? So this is about the minimum criteria for reporting. Now we will discuss about the other points of expedited reporting, means what kind of form we required and other information of patient and all the key points criteria which required for expedited reporting. Now just understand how to report the expedited reporting. Okay. So there are CIOMS forms available, and these CIOMS forms can be downloaded and can be circulated the people who are filling the form, and all the information required in this CIOMS form will be filled by investigators or those who are filling the form. So in these form there is a basic information which is required for the expedited reporting are asking. What is this basic information? I will discuss within some time. Okay. Then the second question is that what we are doing for double-blinded studies. There are so many clinical trials which are performed as a double-blinded. So how we can manage these double-blinded studies? Clear? In so many double-blinded cases, they are serious adverse events or unexpected adverse event which can be qualified as a expedited reporting. So how we manage in such kind of cases? So should we break the code of blinding or should we not break the code of blinding? So we can break the code for a specific patient. Clear? So first we can break the code if serious unexpected event occur and it is qualified as an expedited reporting, and in such clinical trial if one or two patient identify as a serious or unexpected event, then there is a possibility then blinding should be break by the sponsor. That is important one. And however, blinding should be maintained for investigator and the person of biostatistician person, or we can say biometric person who is doing analysis of all of these studies. So blinding can be break for a specific case. Then if serious expected outcome is there, okay, but it is what a expected outcome, then blinding should be maintained. That is important. Clear? In this case, we are not opening the blinding. Here we maintain the blinding, and after completion of all the study, then we inform the sponsors and regulatory authorities to update their information regarding the event. Clear? Now the third one is what? If the primary end point of the study is what? Fatal or serious adverse event, मीन्स जो स्टडी का हमारा एंड पॉइंट है जिसको हम चेक करना चाहते हैं वही क्या है? फेटाल और लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग इवेंट और सीरियस अनएक्सपेक्टेड इवेंट. इफ इट इज द टारगेट, then what to do? We have to priorly inform the regulatory authorities, because this is the kind of case where we are looking for the disease related studies, and that's why it is not subjected to the expedited reporting, because our end point is what? To identify the fatality or life threatening event. So we are targeting those events. That's why we are not considering it as a expedited reporting, because we want to identify these things in our targeted disease with the drugs. Clear everyone? So these are the three cases which we discuss in how to manage the blinding therapy cases in expedited reporting. Now there are some many miscellaneous cases. So how we can select these miscellaneous cases and how to resolve expedited reporting in miscellaneous cases. So the first one is reaction associated with the comparator and placebo. Whenever we are doing a clinical trial, in that clinical trial we compare our drug with the standard drug, and standard drug is considered as a comparator, and we also check this with the placebo. So if the adverse event or unexpected adverse event or fatality or life-threatening event may occur with the comparator, then we have to report these adverse event of active comparator with the sponsor, and this sponsor will report to the regulatory authority or the manufacturer of that comparator, and that manufacturer will further report to the regulatory authority. If sponsor report to manufacturer, then manufacturer will report to the regulatory body, and if sponsor directly report to the regulatory body, then it is also okay kind of thing. Clear everyone? Then if you are talking about the placebo, so usually not satisfy the criteria of ADR. Placebo generally not satisfy the criteria of ADR. Clear? So these are the two things with the comparator and with the placebo. Then further what we have, product with more than one presentation or a use. Sometime we are doing a clinical trial and one product has so many dosage form. Suppose a product for IV injections or IM and subcutaneous, as well as oral formulation, as well as the other kind of formulations, and the product has a multiple use, like it may be used for cardiovascular events, like it also used for hypertension as well as arrhythmia and 2-3 more conditions. So we are checking for one condition. So in that case what we need to do? So in that case, if drug A has a ADR, suppose drug A has a lot of presentation words meaning here is what? Lot of dosage form, and use meaning therapeutic use. Clear? So drug A has a lot of therapeutic uses and drug A has a lot of presentation. More than one presentation means more than one dosage form. So in that case what we need to do? So if drug A has a ADR which qualify the expedited reporting, means ADR which a fatality with a life-threatening event or unexpected serious event. So such kind of thing are qualify as a expedited reporting. Now what to do in that case? So in that case the sponsor should report a single event for all of the other presentation and all of the other uses of the drug. Suppose drug A is checked for antihypertensive and drug A is also used for arrhythmia and atherosclerosis. Clear? But in current situation in a clinical trial, if drug A is checked for antihypertensive, then if we find a ADR, then ADR which is expedited reporting, then drug A ADR is also mentioned in that its use in the arrhythmia and as well as atherosclerosis. Why we are doing so? Because of the precaution and because of the alertness of the physician and the patient. Clear? That is not necessary that the same adverse event may occur in other uses and other presentation, but for the precaution, for the alertness of the healthcare community, we have to write those expedited reporting kind of ADR into the brochure and leaflets of other presentation and other uses. Clear everyone? So it should be reported referenced to regulatory filing across other presentation of the drug A. Clear? I hope you people are able to understand this point of expedited reporting. Clear everyone? Then what to do for post study event? सपोज करिए जब स्टडी कंप्लीट हो जाती है और कंप्लीट होने के बाद अगर कोई एडवर्स इवेंट आता है, इफ आफ्टर पोस्ट स्टडी and completeness of the study, if there is a occurrence of ADR which qualify as a expedited reporting, then what to do? In that case, generally what happened? Generally it was not routinely collected. This is the thing happened in the majority of the cases because it is not collected. But if collected, then what we need to do? If it is collected, then all the details after completion of the study should be reported by the investigator to the sponsor. यहाँ पर कौन रिपोर्ट करेगा? इन्वेस्टिगेटर रिपोर्ट करेगा किसको? स्पॉन्सर को. एंड देन स्पॉन्सर विल रिपोर्ट टू द रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी दैट आफ्टर पोस्ट स्टडी we find an event in a drug XYZ and this XYZ drug has a ADR which qualify the expedited reporting. Clear everyone? So these are the various situation in which how we reporting the expedited reporting. Now we have to understand about the key structure or key points which should be incorporated into the expedited reporting. Now just look what kind of key data of information is required in the expedited reporting and what kind of data we are including in the expedited reporting. So the first one is patient detail. In the patient detail we require the name as well as age, gender, weight, height and the clinical investigation number in which the patient enroll. Clear? So this is the detail about the patient. Then we require the suspected medicinal product information. So on which product the trial is going on. So we take the brand name of the product, we take the INN number, international non-proprietary names as well as batch number of the product. Then which kind of tested dosage form, whether it is a parenteral dosage form or a oral dosage form or any other dosage form. Then for which indication it is used, means for which kind of patient condition. If we are talking about the antihypertensive, then in antihypertensive the patient is the stage 1, stage 2 or stage 3, which kind of conditions for which the drug is used. Then whether it is given daily dose, what is the daily dose of it and for which regimen it has given and what is the route of administration of the product. Then starting date and the time of that day on which the product was started, and as well as next one is stopping date and the time as well as duration of the therapy. Clear? So all these information we required about the medicinal product. Then what other treatment if ongoing with the patient we should also inform in the form. So the patient will be taking about the concomitant drugs like non-prescription drug or OTC products. Sometimes patient may take these drugs without informing the physician. Clear? And other non-medicinal therapy. Non-medicinal therapy means other therapy which are not included into the allopathic therapy. Clear? So in India there are a lot of other therapy like Ayush therapies. Clear? Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathic and Siddha, naturopathy, all these kind of therapy may be taken by the patient. So there is possibility, so we have to report these non-medicinal therapies. Then detail of suspected ADR for expedited reportings. So what kind of suspected ADR was found into the patient? So we have to file all the details about the suspected ADR. So the first one is full description of the reaction. What kind of reaction was occurred, whether it was hypersensitivity reactions or other reaction, and on which side the reaction occur, and what is the severity of the adverse event. We have to mention these things. Then start date of onset of the reaction. Clear? Then duration of the reaction we have to mention, as well as de-challenge and re-challenge information. I already discussed de-challenge and re-challenge in my previous lecture of ADR. So you can check about the what is de-challenge and what is re-challenge. Clear? So this is the thing. Then in which setting the adverse event occur, like in whether the adverse event occur in the hospital, outpatient, inpatient, at a home. Clear? We have to mention these. Then information of the therapy after ADR occurrence. So if the serious or unexpected ADR occur at that time, what kind of therapy given to the patient. So we have to mention these things as well as we have to mention the medical history of the patient, like allergy condition or alcohol uses and any other conditions. We have to mention these things about the suspected ADR. Then details of the reporter. So though the person who report the expedited reporting, we need the information of that person. So we require the name, address and the contact detail of that person. Then about the administrative and company sponsor detail we required in the key data or in the form of expedited reporting. So what kind of detail we required? So source of report. So whether the report was a spontaneous or other, like active reporting or any other kind of reporting. So we require the source of report. Then date on which the event report first by the company. So when company first received the adverse event, then type of report, the report is initial report or a follow-up report. Clear? Then further we require the contact detail of the person in the company to whom which we can contact, and that person can be contacted by the regulatory authority as well. Then IND number of the clinical trial, like investigation new drug number, NDA number or clinical trial number. These things are very important so that we can identify the trial as well. Then as well as we require the sponsor and manufacturer identification number. By these things we are able to collect whole data of the expedited reporting. Clear everyone? So I hope you people are able to understand about the expedited reporting. Here I discuss some MCQ with you guys. So solve these MCQ and give the answer in the comment box, as well as here check the description box for the notes of expedited reporting. Clear everyone? And if you think this lecture is useful, then share this lecture to more and more students. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.